The chair wants. Yeah. Kumbaya, kumbaya, kumbaya. Try the other chord.
Morning, everyone. our community. And is also a beloved member of striving to overcome whatever is the barrier of the special challenge. And thank birds who came to do the advanced prep, bring out preparation for all of you to be here. So welcome, honored guests and members of the New Thought Ohana. So the first thing that we will providing interesting instrument.
This is called a moon have, and if you remember last, actually Allen's, and larger D, Celtic D. And I couldn't quite get him to, maybe next time.
Okay.
And it's called yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a little different.
Well, thank you for that.
Sure.
So the first thing on our from the Science of Mind magazine, and I'm going to do that myself this time. Two things at once, just a second. Going. Just have this. So this is the reading for February 1st. So other people also putting at the same time. We can Science of Mind magazine / Guide for Spiritual Living. Ernest Holmes, the religious science philosophy and the various from it. Embrace. It begins with two quotes. The first on second one is from Ernest Holmes, and it says, when love's activity is no longer restricts, but extends to everything and everyone, then shall we hear its song sung throughout the circuits of our lives. Essay, Reverend Raymond. We of hold or envelop something, whether an idea, an opportunity, willingly and enthusiastic by someone you love. What does it feel like deep inside your soul? When a pet is you, what is that feeling? And being oneness, being at home, love. Our ability. And for now, I invite you to we embrace magnificent life. Does the bird song late in the day embrace you? And the meal that nourishes you? Music, poetry, and around us daily in countless ways. They are right there to embrace our bodies, minds, hearts, and souls. To embrace a fully embodied ultimate embrace. Each one of us, in our own simple way, shall live from God, to God, with God, with each other. It's like once, and then I am the holy embrace of the universe, from God to God. I sense the presence of God in myself and in others. Okay, now you can repeat. I am the universe, from God to God. I sense the presence of God. Thank you. We get treated to love.
Aloha. There's a better way, I'm not lying. Well, you know it's time for change. I noticed things are a little insane. I believe that the time has come. Oh, yeah, time has love, yeah, coming from above. Yeah, every day I hear the thunder. Strange wonder, I wonder why. Oh, still love, yeah, oh, love. Time and day, strange love. Well, you think you that we are all? Yeah, I believe you are love. Streaming, flowing in between everything. Every day, we're remembering that our precious, you know, it's time we grow, love each other and go with the flow. Yes, we are love. You are love. Dreaming from down below and in every, every day. Every day.
That was lovely. I believe we have some people here maybe that possibly be their first time or their first time in quite a in a year. If you're able to do it, could you raise your hand? So I'm going to start 3 people right next to each other, and I don't know. No, but this is just a short process. Your name and where. She's from 50 years.
My name is Harmony Wright, and I was born and raised here, and I live in Helena now.
Well, and then I saw a couple hands in this middle section. Captain Cook and previously Kirk. Oh, okay, Kirkwood, California, and originally from Canada. Okay. Next. Okay, yes. Okay, so that's Doug Kinnear, who's going to be our music minister next week. He lives 10 years. And I think he was discovered doing music for the celebration of our neighbors up at Island Spirit Spa, right? Can't beat that. Okay. Well, welcome, Doug, and we'll be look forward to hearing your music next week. And then, was there somebody? Okay. Cook now, Alabama in the past. Could you repeat your name, please? Eight. Okay, wonderful. Welcome, Seth. Yeah. Oh, that's today. That's great. Okay, did I miss anybody? Okay, well, and do the more complete center because it's if you come one week, it might be quite different from another week. You might have to come a dozen sense of what is New Thought, and it's maybe for a long time. I think I joined in the late. We got another. Who are you? Well, this is Matthew, who's EO. He kind of flies from place to place, but he's Big Island most of the time. Is that accurate? Okay. Landed on. So it describes itself as a multi-faith spiritual community, not just interfaith. And our mission is an evolution of each individual's unique spiritual path. And I kind of like that contrast between community and individuality. You could think it was contradictory, but it somehow. This particular community church of religious science, 71, we've held Sunday services with the previously in Keaho and since 1999 in Kealakekua. COVID-19 pandemic learned how to hold our services online when necessary, and because we realized we had friends in other places, continued to do that as much as if a person can't come physically, they can still join us in contact. Primarily through the International New Thought Alliance, which is not an umbrella organization that brings together certain common beliefs. One of them is the idea that a new thought embodied in consciousness produces a new condition. And Judge Thomas Troward is credited with using that new thought. INTA, form for International New Thought Alliance, and religious science churches, or science churches are now called. And if you want to learn the website, centerofhawaii.com, hanging behind me, see the symbols of quite a few different spiritual paths as well as the palm trees to represent. So that's more or less what is New Thought Center. Get to learn as we pass this microphone around. A question saying your first name is sufficient. You can just respond to that question as
Aloha is, please choose a word or have happen in the world more often. Choose a word that you would like to hear or see more often.
and my word is yes. Also, option state your name.
My name is Peace Eagle. Is
I am really grown up with one rule that contains the I am one, be one.
My name is Tatum. One is I forgive. I'm Sarah. Passion. Good morning. Good morning. I'm compassion. I'm Cheyenne, and I think congratulations.
Judge.
I'm Shelba, and it would be compassion.
I'm Shayna. I like what everybody said, but to add a new word is integrity.
I'm Kathy. To give it and receive it.
You. I don't have more words.
Okay. Her name's Judy, and she doesn't have a word yet. And it's togetherness.
I believe is okay. Another. Yes.
I was going to say
empathy, compassion, congratulations. I like them all.
Yeah, that was.
I'm Patty.
I'm Stephen. My word is whoopee.
I'm Palmer. The word is serve.
I'm Lloyd, and my word is unity.
I'm Doug, and my word is peace is here. 3 words.
I'm Candy. Compassion.
I'm Nance.
I'm Seth. Slow down.
I'm Nate.
I'm Tiare.
Content.
Cynthia.
Good morning. My name is Reagan, and I was going to say aloha. Yana.
The first word. Carrie.
Appreciate. For me, it's honor. It was try to practice that. Although we may not remember, we can try. One feels good. Well, once a day at least. Well, thank you. Once a day. That's for ourselves. Oh. I would back, but not quite yet. Ready? Okay. Real quick is time for another song. And I appreciate having my mic turned on. Is it? Malama ikaya, pono ikaya. And sky. Oh, this sacredness and sky, sea and oh, join me. Malama puno eka. Dog well, new and snail. Oh, sacred. New and snail. This land in sacredness. Yeah.
Hello. I like Jean. Yeah. So if anyone was wondering, twiddling their fingers, that a few years ago, some New Thought person about the sign language way of doing a but then if we raise our hands up when we do it, then to express appreciation. So now is the time in our service when we invite people that wish to that they come to their consciousness recently, commit to Anna that I would try to introduce her. Probably have time for maybe two. Check in with your inner one of those people. 5 minutes. And we do ask you to come stream can know
sign that said service at 10 and a half ago. I arrived, and I am so beautiful. People are in this place, and it's the most beautiful feeling. And I've learned how, and learning that things have been, and that more. So I wanted to be manifesting, and yet really was somebody that I feel. So I set that intention, and I have no idea, just like I have no idea how I got here. But a psychic was going to give a 30-minute, like times I had to cancel, and I felt really bad about that. And this last time I called, and still stunned at what the connection. First, he called my number. We came here from Brevard, and it's a very scary place. Insurrectionists came from there. And so he said, I lived in Brevard. Really? And he's Hawaiian. Yeah, I worked at Sea Ray. Worked. Apple. And so I called my brother-in-law, and it just went on from there. Okay, he's here where we live, and we never expected to live on the Big Island. We were always going to live. I kind of think I found my. And then right, the original. And so I look at that, and I just went to this. I'm starting. The role of the authentic shamanic teacher. In the Western world today, more and more are seeking out a teacher of shaman. Shamanic teachers are now appearing on the screen. We will be drawing an individual who will
have time for one more. Let's see. Here's about ready.
Hi, my name is Tatum. Mine is not nearly as deep as that. It's really like surface level, but I thought it was fun. I live here, it's really expensive, we all know that. Really here, I want to stay here, but how can I do that? And I have like, I would say self-diagnosed ADHD. I get so paralyzed with so many, I'm like paralyzed, but I have. And in the middle of all this, this house cleaning company under my LLC. Like, you're no option. You're just going to do it. And like, I'm going to buy all the supplies and like, you're going to create this web. Just like, okay. So now I own my own house cleaning company. Never thought something. So if anyone ever wants their house, I'm going to as well. So.
Manifest
So I think the two miracles went. Thank you for sharing, and thank you possibly can share. So I get to now introduce Anna. Is a teacher by profession. She especially appreciated the Waldorf approach to education with teachings of former and visionary of Methodism and educated at a Quaker school. So she grew up spirituality decade and lived in Hawaii and of Kahiko partly to. But in the course of these and before of Hale Makua by Hank Wesselman. So through this friendship of Hank Wesselman, because Hank was a workshop teacher here for over a decade, describes her experience of that. The first time I heard Hank speak at New Thought, I was enthralled. I really appreciated the way he wove Hawaiian mysticism into his shamanism talks. Immersed herself in Hank's books. I think she read them all. And that her own belief system, her when Hank passed away, she a year. It's time to get going on the shaman's path. Has become a student, both of them. Thanks to Hank's guidance, she concludes, path. Shamanism has become my way of life. And today, enthusiasm and is malleable, capable of expansion and enchantment. Graph our own soul dance. Please help me. I believe there's a lay minister, maybe two.
Well, thanks to Pasha, a few minutes of my talk. And gratitude. And the pictures of those two table, and you can look at them later, a picture who turned out to be Hale Makua's sister. Years in a Buddhism they met in Esther, who was in her my house once a month to practice, and she came for many years, and one day she spoke to me. She was a quiet being. She spoke. And won't be able to do it. So I began taking. Now at first, and the missionary rough. And the errands became like, can I handle 4 hours with Esther? Do you know what friends? And now she is living in Oahu, closer to her daughter, where she needs. Relationship went from grumpy to eat ice cream cones with it melting all over. And when eating ice cream. Took a bookstore, and I did so. And we sat her by the Hawaiiana and perusing the shelf, looking at the bookstore. She was holding this. This is one of light. And leaned in to take a peek. This man wrote a book about my brother. I was a little many hours speaking about children and grandchildren, but never had we talked about her childhood, where she had a brother. And she used to call him, when she later told me stories, Ke Aloha. You know him. Name. And so that is opened up to page 3 of the book. A Hawaiian gentleman. And when I saw his eyes, and I knew and so I took, leave me. There, the information over my head. I had, and even though I was Hawaiian, so this is to hear Gentleman speak at New Thought Church. He's standing here, and I'd like to thank my teachers and gentlemen, Hale Keolahalani Makua, Jill, Earl Asiagi, and River Ledgerwood. Sometimes the ones who have passed give me plenty of messages, and the ones who are here help person to. I'm here today to speak about the human soul. I am here to speak about the human soul. And I'd like to start with a quote from Rumi. Your soul. You feel ways. And story, and this story comes is the story that is the bowl of light as told by Hale Kealoha Makua to Hank. Met each other, and it was in the late 90s, if you will. Wesselman and his wife sitting at on the edge of Hale Maumau crater. This is where he met people, even presidents of Ford Foundations and Hank Wesselman. He started light to you by your Aumakua, your spiritual oversoul. For you were born, blew the light into you. Everybody has a bowl of light. Travel through. The light was bright when you were born with it. Make some mistakes, and maybe we lie, just a little lie. It's as if a is dropped. We might injure others with our words or our deeds. If more into even our thoughts, year after year, mistake after mistake, and there is barely any light from your. Well, the problem of today, the world is being run with people who have their bowls of light full of stones. And even though they perceive themselves as good people and able to lead countries or family, whatever, don't have much hope that at some time they realize this. Does anyone do they do then? They of light choose so different awareness of what they say and what they do, how they behave. They can live a life saying the words we spoke of earlier. Their light inside actually glows bright, stronger. And when that happens, they become spiritual warriors, spreading peace throughout the world. Till the end of time and it is forever be. Now we know that our So we all have times in our life when we are others in the positive polarity. We know we have times that we feel great, like feel great. All to take a minute and think about one something from a stone. What's something up? Because you can tell it is not really certain. And on the other hand, what? So I want you to think. I'll repeat it, but you're going to be saying it to a neighbor. You know later. Again, you don't have to say a word if you don't have one. You turn to someone nearby you. It might be one or two people you're going to be sharing with, and you can share these things. A minute will stop. Stand up if you need to. Stop and we'll okay, that's better. All righty, we're going to move on. but not until at least a couple of you share, if you feel like it, what went on. For me to hear, I'll report it. Hey, would anyone like to share? Jean is ready to get rid of her and be filled with strength. It is true when we let more room, anything else that we want to fill it with. Okay, Tatum. The trauma she's ready to get rid of. In her life, more music and dancing. Yes. Dump out of her bowl judgments and resentments. Thank you. Do you have a positive to fill it up with? Okay, she's working on it. She's going to have lots of room. So now into how a looks the with it at birth, and Rudolf Steiner, AC, and probably others that I've never heard of, believe that your soul, the earth, before the earth. Then the earth needed to be created for the reincarnation, and this is where a soul stays together, but the body leaves, the soul goes back up to the ethereal realm to learn what it feels like to be. And then when they choose to be born again, knowing they want to be a human, they choose it. Elders in heaven, what lessons will help their soul grow? When they come to earth, they find out some of these lessons are dear. But all the while, the soul has been in them and is in all of us. The soul lasts different. See what can be big. Of how big a soul can be. And we were doing after a day or two of that, she stayed at my house. Now, geometry is known to be one of those acts we want to open up our spirituality. In my jungle tub. Eyes, and she told me later she almost fell asleep. She knew for sure. And in the huge soul, two drops into this human. I mean, I thought the soul was in us, and maybe. And she human was you. We're amazed. Wow. That's only two sides of. So imagine is always reaching up into heaven. That's kind of what I'm feeling like. Soul can be pretty big. Ah, where does a soul come from? One day, when I was laying right here, a woman named Kelly came from the other side. She led us through a shamanic journey. And during the journey, she was talking. It was a guided meditation. Well, when I was angel songs, I didn't hear that anymore. Blue, energetic, this much of it. Blue hand plucked a piece of itself and put it in a little hammock-like cradle. Whatever this big giant blue orb was, rocking it. And I knew that that was the birth. I believe that was the birth of my the guide, the one who guides me through all of this. Who? And now the Quakers believe that, and many other people get a visual. Not only the visual, but the feeling. Imagine what it feels like to be rocked in God's cradle of passion. It's full of how's-its and so these are some examples of how shamanism can change us. There are other ways we can sing. We all one find a place to ask for guidance, to ask for help. A while back, not that long ago, probably this summer, I was having a lot of worry about finances. Seems like we all do on this island. At that moment, there was someone who owed. They just would pay me back. But they weren't. On myself, what's wrong with them? Judgment. How come people don't pay people back? Person on some level. And it was a family member. And so it was crushing me. I felt myself. And so I asked, can you help me with this? The shamanic rest and hear the rhythm of a drum beat. Our mind comes away from the earth, ether sphere. So we did that. what happened was my ancestor came on Earth. It's not helping to worry about money. If money comes, I know I lost everything. It came shared. My wife was ill. We needed to go to leave our home. We lost everything. We moved, built back up, and he tells me I even became a small town in turned out to be my great-grandfather. And the shaman teacher, when I woke up from that dream and heard my great-grandfather, she said, well, Anna, you know that Earth, your troubles, compost your troubles, burn and transform your troubles. You're going camping next weekend. Take a stick, call it worry, bury it under a tree, it in a fire. For a camping trip at a national park in Northern California, I backed into my campsite. You mean those giant redwood trees, the ones that are about 2,000 years old? And it had bark that was all convoluted with bumps and bruises and all kinds of things. Moss. There's the tree I'm going to bury my stick. So and then I sat right on that place. I actually fell asleep. Feeling I had been loved, cared for. 1,000-year-old being on Earth. Tree I redwood. I also found another stick and called it worry and burnt it in a little campfire. Now the interesting thing is that Posh is looking at me. I'm going to wrap it up. The interesting thing though, my great-grandfather spoke to me. He came in he said, your grandfather, when he was a boy, watching a campfire sparkle and sputter, sitting in a redwood forest. And now to wrap it all up, the soul can be big, it can be bright, but grow. And what Michael Meade says is if we grow our individual soul, our group soul grows. The choir could be the group of the school you're in. Could be the universal soul. So when can our soul play? Or we have. If you want to wiggle around, of but we've come we've got this little bowl of light. I'm going to keep it bright. This strong heart rhythm all the time. Soul divine. Gonna
Ready?
almost. And so G. This little bright, this little bowl of light, bowl of bright, keep it bright, keep it bright. This strong heart of mine, oh, the heart of mine, time, this time, all the time, all the time, all the time. This time, I'm gonna let I'm gonna let it shine. This shine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. This little bowl of light, I'm gonna heart of mine keeps rhythm all the time. Precious soul of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Mahalo.
Thank you. Include the You got off your duff. So now is the time for build the foundation of expansion and the future of New Thought, and also our confidence in the fact that the universe will supply us with in surprising ways. Even if you make a very bowl, it's big and small in the universal mind that you believe. in my early connection with the only abundance I had to share was fruit. So I put a lemon in the bowl. Just the Gene is going to provide the offertory music, and some of it was chosen by not this past year, but the previous year as the music to share with the wider community. Yeah.
Sun, which way the wind when it breathe in the air, set your intentions, dream with care. Tomorrow's a day one, a brand new sun. The birds, direction of love. Breathe, breathe in the air. Cherish this moment, cherish this breath. Tomorrow brand new sun. When you feel down on heavy weight, when you feel tired ears and the name rolling long, long. Which way is the wind blowing? Oh, way the wind.
If the bowl didn't quite reach everybody, still hear and also giving at a QR code. This, it connects to the New Thought PayPal account. On about her workshop this afternoon, and then I'll be in on coming events at New with that.
So if you're interested in learning more about shamanism, about drumming, and about learning how to dream journey in the shaman medicine needed, you can speak to me. You can get there. But on the back table where it's yellow, the sign-up sheet for the workshop and a little blurb that tells you a little more about it. There's also the pictures of Esther, Halikeola, the Pua, so you can see. So the 6 books I read and referred to for the information in my talk that was from the experts. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. I'm looking forward to let's see. So 1:30 to 4. And the name of it, do we have a name? Rediscovering Our Sacred Gardens. One of Hank's small areas, but don't. It's just a sacred garden, and it's small, and it comes with the. And whenever Hank did a work, when he did his workshops as the basis for one of the journeys that he guided. So the opportunity that's available today, $10 to $40. And Anna can tell you more about it. So here's to look forward to at New Thought in the fairly near future. Pilgrimage itself with music by Doug, the famous pilgrimage route, El Camino de Santiago, you know, and was doing his log. It was quite amazing, and I'm sure he's going to be referring. The following week, it will be Fire Empowering the Coming Year with music by Joe Conti. But it's February. We'll be holding our annual membership meeting and lunch. Kaimana Lighthawk and Tiara about that. A good possibility. And new members will, if you aren't already a member, you could be one of them. Weekly in the coming week, Long teaches his Tai Chi and Qigong class for all levels, $15 if you pay by the month. And from 4 to 4:30, he does kind of or coaching for advanced students, depending who shows up. That's an extra $10 standalone for $10. Something new this since the new year began, Star Route has from 4 to 5. This week's focus is dollars suggested. Monthly events, we have the Crystal Bowl meditation 9 to 9:30 service. If you have other plans that make it not feasible for you to come for this service, you can do the Bowl healing out for your day. Main service. And the other which happens on the fourth Sunday, scheduled for the 22nd of February. That's also the annual. People are invited to bring us. You'll be hearing more about that. This afternoon that you already know about, and 15th of February, as I mentioned, a workshop 4:30 for $30 for decades. I mean, even when we were back in beloved longtime teacher, admire, and she lives on Oahu, so we're happy that she's able to come join us. Invitations. Ongoing of our prayer in the middle of the long table. It's got a honu carved on the cover. So if you have them, it could be for yourself or it could be for another person if you obtain their consent. If you need to think about it, you can also send email to the New Thought. If you don't know what that is, or if you're on the newsletter list, you can just reply to your weekly newsletter ministry. So the other invitation is kind of we do of course you can fill out the form at other times, but it's more fun to ceremonies is coming up, and we've already got 5 new members to honor, maybe even 10, and the third also on that round table, and it's really a great experience to move from being a friend to a member. Nothing changes, but in another way. So it's a movement of friendship with this community, and other associations, since we recognize you can simultaneously be a member of Kona Beth Shalom and a member of New Thought Center of Hawaii. Many people have done that in the past. I mean, whatever you doesn't to do that. You can fill out contact information basically, and then clip it, just move it to the bottom of the pile, leave it on the clipboard, but move so someone else can pick up. On the okay, quite a few of us. when you are a member, it means you can be participant in the annual meeting, regular service on, and this one board which takes care of the business in between annual. One person is definitely this year, and 2 other people are willing to step down if someone else. And serving as a committee to prepare for the second. Okay, so it's Tony Vaughn and Margie, board member, and if you either want to volunteer to be nominated or recommend someone to be nominated, you can talk. They'll make the final decisions because they're a list of skills and is seeking that's a lot of people, but to the board experience, and it also takes care of us during the times when. Okay, well, the most coming up soon, so it's really important. Lunch. New Thought treats our speakers to lunch. So because there is a workshop this afternoon, we didn't want to go to a far off restaurant. So we're going to be taking Anna to Ono Home Kitchen, the restaurant, which it's has other kinds of food, both sandwiches, burgers, local dishes, spam musubi. There are a few things that work for vegetarian. Make modifications like substitute tofu. And it's a chance to. So who wants today? Keep your 3, 6, 7, 8. Well, for 8, and usually there's a few last minute decisions. So we'll say 8. It'll probably a little while on the lanai after the closing song. So maybe about past 12. First, let them know that we need a table for 8 to 10 people. All right. Up for our closing song, Hawaii. Are posted on this wall, and if you're standing on looking, start us on a good note. She'll get us started.
take it off.